GM und herzlich willkommen zu Episode 19 von Crypto-Ticker, der Podcast. Die Swiss NFT Association wurde gegründet, um Web3-Enthusiasten in der Schweiz zusammenzubringen, eine Community aufzubauen, gemeinsame Projekte umzusetzen und die Massenadaption voranzutreiben. Wir konnten die Gründerin Josephine auf der NFT Paris treffen und haben uns mit ihr darüber unterhalten, welche Ziele sie mit der Swiss NFT Association hat, wie sie selber in den Space gekommen ist, welche Communities sie als Role Model sieht und vieles mehr. Bevor wir starten, hier noch der Hinweis, dass wir uns sehr über ein Like und Follow auf der Podcast-Plattform deiner Wahl freuen würden. Wenn du uns also noch nicht folgst oder bewertet hast, dann mach das doch schnell. Und jetzt viel Spaß mit Episode 19 und Josephine. Josephine, it's a pleasure having you here. You're from Swiss NFT Association, right?
Yes, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so we're live at NFT Paris. So have you already seen some talks? What's your impressions? How do you like it so far?
Yeah, I mean, amazing talks. So many interesting projects together, talking about how we can change the space, how we can bring more, bring together the digital and the physical space. So really excited to be here.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. You're from Zurich, obviously, or not obviously, but Swiss NFT Association, right? And you're based in Zurich, right?
Yes.
Can you tell us a bit about what is Swiss NFT Association?
Sure. So why did we create Swiss NFT Association? We felt that there was missing the community for Web3 specifically in Switzerland. So this is where Swiss NFT Association got created. We are a community of Web3 enthusiasts, people who want to learn about the space, who are creators, investors, collectors. So we're a mix and really coming from all walks of life. We got skateboarders, we got professional people, in the baking.
Professional skateboarders maybe also.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's really a really cool mix of people who love Web3, who are interested in the space, want to create, learn, share, and collaborate.
And you're the founder of it? Are you doing that together with some more people, or is it your baby? How are you set up?
So at the moment, I have co-founded it together with Victor, my husband. But our goal is really to get the community to become part of the space. So to be able to also create events or just interesting concepts that they have to bring in. So at the moment, it's kind of led by us. But our goal is also to get the community to be really involved in the space.
You were introduced to me by Ursula Wolpe, so shout out at this point.
Yes.
She's also, I assume she's part of that community, right?
Yeah.
How many people are there currently, and how do you actually, how do you set up the community? How do people communicate with each other? Do you have different channels? I assume maybe a Discord, Twitter, these kind of things. How is it set up?
Yeah, it's actually quite interesting because it kind of grew faster than we anticipated. So the first step was we just want to get interesting people together and meet who are the artists or the creators in the space in Zurich. Like, let's get to know each other. This was the first thought. And then we had our very first event and we had like 120 people and we were quite surprised because we didn't even know who is there, So this was the first step. And then we got to meet Ursula at our first event. And then the next thing was like, everyone was like, okay, let's do this more. This is fun. I want to meet more of the people to see what they're doing. And then we decided to actually continue doing these. So at the moment, we have a Twitter account, Swiss NFT Association. We have a Telegram channel that's coming soon. And we do want to also go into Discord, but we want to take it step by step, that it grows with quality and with activity. And, at the moment, we're also busy setting up our memberships, which we want to do based on NFTs. And the big goal with that also is to not just have access to our events or to things that we do, but also to figure out a way, how do we get Web2 people or just everyone else to mass adopt it. And one idea that we had was that we, for example, get people from our space to communicate with others, and let's say going to different bars, restaurants, and getting discounts there, and then getting the NFT art into local places. So also really focusing, bringing the digital into the physical space and letting the people talk to each other and meet one another.
I really like that approach. And from my perspective, it also totally makes sense. Do you have like a role model community where you think of who do that already? What do you envision Swiss NFT Association to become? Mm-hmm. Is there something where you say that is a really, really strong community? I like the way they do it.
I mean, the one that comes to mind right now, it's Nouns. I think they did a really good job in getting the community to create their own ideas and like the whole DAO system. So we really also want to be a DAO in that sense that people feel comfortable enough to bring their own ideas and create projects coming out of that. And that's also another kind of area. We really want startups to support them in any way possible, that they will already feel comfortable enough to create their own thing and use us as a platform to grow.
Yeah, I can imagine that. And I mean, from my perspective, that's at least right. I'm not from Switzerland. I'm from Germany, right? And I'm not too much in Switzerland, to be honest. My perspective from outside is always that Switzerland is very financially driven also when it comes to blockchain, right? I mean, the legislation obviously is somewhat, better, let's say better than in many other countries. That's why a lot of the foundations also are set up in Switzerland. And I think also in Switzerland it's legally possible to actually set up a DAO, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Can you tell a bit more? Are you into that? Because actually that would be interesting. I don't know how to set up a DAO, like from a legal perspective also. How would you want to set that up maybe?
For a DAO, exactly, we're figuring that out right now. But in general, it is much easier to set up like blockchain companies in Switzerland. There are a lot of fintech licensed entities, but also like we have SEBA and Signum, the two crypto regulated banks. So it's very crypto friendly in that sense. Legality, taxes, like all of that setup is already existing. So it's much easier to have that set up in order to begin operating. And there's also a lot of support. So people are very friendly, helping each other out. For DAO specifically, we're in the process of figuring that out ourselves.
Yeah. It's probably also not the easiest thing still.
Exactly.
Also in Switzerland, I guess.
Yeah.
How is it? Because also my perception is a lot of times that there are, let's say the OGs, the people that have been in the crypto space for a very long time, and they are not necessarily always open to, let's say, the new generation, and in brackets, the new generation of people coming into that space or that came into the space because of NFTs. And you are obviously branded with the word NFT, right? Or with that tag. So are they open? Are there people in the community, in your community, where you say, or where you think that they are actually the old crypto people? And do you see, I don't know, are they open to join that community?
So do you mean like if they come more from the crypto side going into NFTs?
Yeah, or if you have those people in there, yeah.
Yeah, actually we have quite a few of those people. Also me personally coming more from the crypto side as well, going into NFTs and more on the finance investment side. We do have a lot of people like that, and that is also why we are super focused on educational side as well, and also for people who have NFT projects to really talk about their story, the purpose. Why is this important? Why should people care? And I think this really helps. This really changes the thought of like, oh, it's just a JPEG, it's just a PFP, it doesn't relate to my life in any way. And also I think more and more use cases that we have, and the more people understand it and trust it, the easier it gets to want to be in the space. And I think we're in that stage where a lot of people are focusing, like Ursula as well, focusing on education, and I think this is big key. And also communities being open to collaborating together, this also helps a lot to help adoption.
I can imagine that. So currently, if I understood correctly, most of the events, or the events that you actually do with Swiss NFT Association, are real life events, right?
Exactly.
Is there a rhythm? Like, do you do them monthly or weekly?
So we've been doing it monthly so far. We're actually quite new, so we've done just a few events so far. But the way we've been doing it...
So room to grow?
Exactly.
Good.
Of course.
We're going to spread
that. So the way we've been thinking about our setup is we do once a month. And 1 month we have speakers, we have panel discussion, networking, where we bring speakers who have interesting stories to tell, interesting projects. And the next month we do more of a meetup style where we just kind of hang out, talk about what we've been up to, what are the interesting projects that we're looking into. So kind of getting to know each other aspect versus the other one, the more let's see what's happening in the space and what are the interesting projects we can learn from.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine that there are a lot of also companies that would be interested in hosting the events at their venue, right? Because if you organize those events, I did that myself for a few times, it's always a bit stressful to actually, find a suitable venue that is not too expensive, right? Then because you want as many people to come as possible, right? But then if the venue is big, you obviously have to make them pay. And that is then a hurdle as well. And I can imagine that there are a lot of companies in Switzerland.
Moment, jetzt gibt's erstmal ein bisschen Werbung. Und zwar für Crypto-Ticker. Crypto-Ticker ist nämlich viel mehr als nur dieser Podcast. Crypto-Ticker ist die Community rund um Kryptowährungen, Web3, NFTs und allem, was dazugehört. Bereits seit 2015 kümmert sich das Team von Crypto-Ticker darum, Neulingen und Profis eine Heimat im Crypto-Space zu bieten. Auf cryptoticker.io findest du jeden Tag neue Artikel und Insights, prall gefüllt mit News, Tipps, Hintergrundinfos und spannenden Einblicken. Im Crypto-Ticker Discord kannst du dich außerdem mit Tausenden von Gleichgesinnten austauschen, Fragen stellen, Kontakte knüpfen und vieles mehr. Schau am besten gleich jetzt in die Shownotes, denn da findest du alle Links zu Crypto-Ticker und kannst direkt ein Teil der Community werden. Und jetzt weiterhin viel Spaß mit Crypto-Ticker, der Podcast.
You said your background is also more from the crypto side, so you're an OG. I would say. Can you tell a bit about what you did?
Sure. So I actually was an architect when I started investing in crypto, and at the time I really didn't understand much about investments. And my very first investment was in Ethereum, and a friend of mine who was also an architect told me, hey, my boyfriend has this interesting app that he's been playing with. You put some money in there, and then after a few months it doubles.
Yeah.
And that was Coinbase.
Magic internet money.
Yeah. And at the time, I was very skeptical, but I said, okay, I'll try with a little bit of money to play around with it. And yeah, I was invested in Ethereum. Sadly, I sold it after it did double at the time. But this was kind of the way I got into it. And then I had a little break. But after I started moved to Switzerland, then I got really interested in the topic again. And at first I thought, blockchain is for coders, and that's not me. So this is scary. This was kind of the stage that I went through. But after some time, I said, no, I'm going to try this again, researching. So I really just self-taught myself, going to as many events as possible, watching hours and hours of YouTube, reading, trying. But actually, I have to say that trying and just investing and trading by myself was the big
Fully
leap.
agree.
Yeah, because a lot of people, including myself, are very afraid of this step. Many people read into it, but don't do it themselves, you know.
Yeah, because doing it is something different. You actually have to experience the stuff that you read about, but that is a different level of actually, being educated or educating yourself, right? And if there's somebody available that actually helps you, that is probably a big relief for many people that are scared with getting in touch with that, because also you read about a lot of the scams. Was that also some sort of the motivation to actually start Swiss NFT Association, because you thought, it would have been nice if somebody would actually have helped me?
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I have a lot of friends who always ask me, but they're a little bit shy about trying it by themselves. And I remembered what I went through, and I was doing it all by myself. So definitely that's a big step. And what makes me really happy is all those friends that I had who were afraid or didn't understand, but were curious, always asking me questions. When they came to our first event, they said, okay, now I understand what you do.
Yeah. And there is a bit of a passion spark also that jumps to other people,
Definitely.
I think, right?
Yes.
If you see those people, how the people that are actually in the space, how passionate they are about what they do or what other people do, and you hear them talk about it, I think that is something that is really motivating other people to actually get into it and not be like, no, that's all a scam, that's a big Ponzi, whatever.
Yes, and actually this is, I think, why in real life events are so important.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because you actually get to meet those people. And
You see a face.
Yeah, and you get a connection, you understand, you see that passion, and then you, like, some people also told me, oh, I actually see how my life could be impacted by this, even though I have nothing to do with blockchain or NFTs. And that's, I think, it's our goal, right? To reach to that point where other people who aren't in the space can already feel a connection to an impact to their life.
Yeah. Do your parents understand what you do?
Actually, my mom is also invested in crypto.
Okay.
And sometimes she hears some terms and then she comes and she's like, I think this is related to what you do, right? Like, yes, Mom, you got it. But we did have to go through a lot of conversations. Repetition. Yeah.
Okay. But they're supportive.
Yes, they're
Perfect.
supportive.
Okay, right. Let me end with some either or questions. You're gonna state what you like more, right? It's a very simple game. Bitcoin or Ethereum?
Ethereum.
Twitter or LinkedIn?
Oh. Switzerland, LinkedIn, generally Twitter.
Okay, good one. OpenSea or Blur?
OpenSea.
Bored Ape Yacht Club or CryptoPunk?
Bored Ape Yacht Club.
Croissant or pain au chocolat?
Oh. Croissant.
Croissant. That's funny. Most people choose croissant, actually. Stay with the basics. All right, Josephine, thank you so much for being here. Enjoy NFT Paris. All the best with Swiss NFT Association, and happy to have you here.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Cheers.
Vielen Dank fürs Zuhören. Wenn dir die Folge gefallen hat, dann lass uns gerne ein Like da, klick auf Abonnieren, mach eine Bewertung und schau auf jeden Fall auch mal auf unsere Social-Media-Kanäle sowie den Newsletter. Dort findest du immer alle News rund um Crypto-Ticker, der Podcast. Und jetzt einen schönen restlichen Tag, Abend oder Morgen und bis zum nächsten Mal.